You're eating the same, exercising the same, living the same. But for some reason, the weight is creeping and your clothes feel tighter. You're not just imagining it. At 38, your body starts changing in ways that no one's really warned you about. And the old advice, eat less, move more, completely outdated. I've worked with hundreds of patients in their late 30s, early 40s who felt stuck until we unpacked what's actually going on beneath the surface. Metabolic shifts, hormone responses, stress load, all these things matter. In this video, I'll show you exactly what's changing in your body at 38, why your old routine no longer works, and what to do instead. Hi, I'm Dr. Carter with Modern Body Clinic, and we are weight loss experts. We've helped a ton of people lose weight safely and effectively. Nothing's changed except your physiology. So after 30, it turns out, and this depends on which study you look at, anywhere from 3 to 10% muscle loss per decade starting at. So what that means for us is less muscle equals lower metabolism. This is in spite of, even with the same workouts, this can happen. So what can you do about it is start resistance training 2 to 3 times per week. At this age, it's not optional, it's foundational. So another thing that is happening is hormone shifts in our late 30s. For women, this is where we're going to see some changes in the hormones. So we're going to see estrogen and our progesterone levels fluctuate. Progesterone is going to go down. We're also going to see some increase in our insulin sensitivity. And putting all those things together, we're going to start storing belly fat. With that, you'll also get some cravings and you'll start having issues with sleep. So one small thing we can do to battle that is pairing carbs with protein. That will help flatten your insulin response to the carbohydrates. And yet another thing for women at this age is cortisol. So if you can imagine how life was at 25 and how life is now at 38, you probably have way more responsibilities. You may have more kids, more job responsibilities, and those can lead to chronic stress. And when we get chronic stress, we get chronic elevation of cortisol, which is going to lead to fat storage and cravings. One simple thing we can do with it to address that is, actually I'll give you 2 things. So one is morning light. 5 to 10 minutes of morning light will help regulate your cortisol levels. The other thing is magnesium glycinate at night to help with better sleep. And these will help naturally regulate your cortisol levels. Why your routine doesn't work anymore? Well, there's 4 really good reasons. Well, the first reason is you may notice that cardio alone is not effective. So you can do spin classes 5 days a week and still gain weight because those hormones spike and we're still losing muscle. So what you should do instead of 5 days in a row of spin class is switch out 1 or 2 other days for resistance training with walking. Because what that's going to do is help boost muscle or help stop the decline of the muscle loss. The second reason is the calorie cutting is actually backfiring. Prolonged severe calorie restriction is a stressful event for your body, and what it's going to do is adapt to it. And one of those adaptations is to decrease your metabolism. Along with that, you're also going to see these appetite hormones, leptin, go down and ghrelin go up, and that is going to lead to more hunger. And with those 2 things, we're going to make it harder to lose fat. So you might drop some weight for the first couple weeks, and then you stall, and then you feel exhausted, and you regain it all. Let me know in the comments if that's ever happened to you before. One small tool you can do for this is focus on nutrient density, not just the calorie deficit, and add protein at every meal, making sure you're getting anywhere from 25 to 30 grams at each meal. And have the calorie deficit be more moderate, so anywhere from 300 to 500 calories. Actually, it makes it easier to do it as well. So the third reason is recovery is going to really make it hard on your hormones, particularly your growth hormone. It's going to raise your cortisol, and not to get enough sleep in and of itself is going to increase your insulin resistance. So you might be training hard, but if you're not giving yourself time to recover, you're going to be more inflamed and stressed, and this is going to block fat loss. So a quick thing you can do around this is, well, maybe it's not quick, but it's simple, is aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. Add 1 or 2 recovery days during the week if you're not already doing that, and then manage your stress with whether it's meditation, yoga, getting 10 minutes of sun in the morning to help decrease your stress levels. And so the 4th reason is hormone changes. And so what this means is we just need a smarter approach. So these fluctuating estrogen and progesterone levels essentially going to change how fat is stored. It's going to change how your carbs are processed and even water retention. So what you might notice is that the same workout you were doing before, it feels harder. You're seeing slower progress, and you may even notice you feel bloated more frequently. So what can we do about this is timing your workouts when your energy is highest in your menstrual cycle, and then support your diet with healthy fats, and these both are going to help with your blood sugar control. Now, it turns out, depending where you're at in your cycle, that certain exercises are better than. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a video on specifically what type of workout you should do based on where you're at in your cycle. What can we do about all of these hormones and life, and our plan is not working, so what can we do to address these issues? So I'm gonna give you 5 things that I often recommend to our clients in their late 30s, early 40s. First one is resistance training. If you can do 3 times a week, that's great, but at least twice. And we want to focus on compound movements. One thing is you're going to get a greater hormonal response when we're doing compounded movements. The other thing is going to be more effective time-wise, because we're working out multiple muscle groups when we do compound movements. And compound movements include things like bench press, shoulder press, squats, deadlifts. All these exercises use multiple muscles when we're doing them. Number 2 is protein. So at least 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal. That is going to help with making sure we hit our protein goals to address that muscle. Also, the exercise obviously is going to address the muscle as well. Protein is also going to help with satiety. It also will help flatten our insulin response. Speaking of that, number 3 is balancing carbs with either a protein or fat. When we have carbs with one of those other macronutrients, we're going to get a flatter insulin response because the digestion of the carb into your bloodstream is going to be slower. Number 4 is a walk for 10 to 15 minutes after a meal, and it does increase your activity, but also is going to help with insulin resistance. We will respond better if we do some light activity after work or after a meal. And so number 5 is getting, so the few that I would minimally get to see where I'm at if I was a 38-year-old woman. So one would be a fasting insulin, because right away we can see if there's an issue with your response to insulin. Number 2 would be a cortisol curve. And so the difference than just getting a normal blood test, which we can do, but we're gonna miss some information. When we get a curve, usually we do that with what's called a saliva test. And we can see what your cortisol does throughout the day, because it does change. And so there's different patterns that we can see and address any underlying issue. Oftentimes, the cortisol is causing other symptoms that the person may not be even aware of. Last thing I would get is a thyroid panel, and when I say thyroid panel, I mean full panel. So that would include a TSH, free T4, T3, and reverse T3. If there's other stuff going on, you could, based on your symptoms, you can get a couple other hormones that you could check regarding the thyroid. I would get at a minimum. We do get a whole slew of labs. Let me know in the comments if that's of interest to you, to kind of know like the full assessment that we do. If you notice your body isn't responding the way it used to, you're right. But you don't need to guess your way through it either. We offer personalized plans and assessments that really will reboot your fat loss at 38 and beyond. Check out the link in the description. You're not broken. Your body just needs a smarter plan, and now you have one. If you want to hang out longer, check out one of these videos on weight loss.